So, learning that you have cancer is kind of a wake-up call. Helps you start to assess what's really important in your life. I happened to be working out one day and felt a little pain in my side and thought I'd pulled a muscle or something like that. And then had blood. And thought I better get that checked out, and didn't think there was really anything above that, and had some really miracles happen along the way, even in being diagnosed, because when I went to get it checked out, the blood had stopped. I felt fine, and my doctor even gave me a bill of clean health, gave me a Boy Scouts physical so I could go with the young men to scout camp. And right on the way out the door, he said, that's weird for a guy as young as you to have blood and have pain like that. Let's just get an MRI just to be sure. And sure enough, I found cancer in my bladder. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I immediately had a surgery to take out the cancer and to biopsy it and see what kind of cancer it was. And for bladder cancer, which is what it was a type 3, which is the most aggressive, fastest growing cancer. So we had to get that out of there. And when they also sent me from where I was being treated in Layton, Utah, to the Huntsman, and got a new doctor there, a guy who I love. Because he saved my life. I think when you're going through cancer, the hardest part is not knowing how it's going to turn out. In fact, the best advice I was ever given is expect no news, good news, and bad news, and that way you're ready. Because cancer, it sounds like it's a perfect science, but it's very imperfect. Cancer diagnosis is very up and down, and it really just depends on the individual and their experience. And so there are a lot of unknowns. We're fortunate to live in an area where we have a cancer hospital 30 minutes away, and it was a great experience. But the hardest part was probably emotional and physical. It was demanding. People rallied around. There are a lot of good people in the world that rallied around us as a family, did a lot of wonderful things for us, and brought a lot of good out of people that you wouldn't normally see. There's a lot to do with attitude, because you see people with cancer all the time and they just have this wonderful attitude. Then I sometimes see people who, I have an ache or a pain in you, that's all you hear about. And I'd rather be around the people who are positive. I'd rather be around the people who are positive and who are trying to do the best they can and make life as fun as they can. The other thing it did for me is help me focus on what was most important, help me understand what was most important, and spend my time where I thought was most important. Not because I thought I was going to die per se, but there's always that possibility. But
what was the percentage?
There's about a 60% chance you can die of something like this. So it was, it was possible. We started on treatments of immunotherapy. Chemotherapy is where they put chemical in and try to kill the cancer. Immunotherapy is where they put live organisms in, and they use a tuberculosis bacteria. And I remember going to, and so I started those weekly treatments. It was 6 weeks. Go to the Huntsman Cancer Hospital, get a treatment, go home and sleep it off. and get up the next day, and that day you feel like you have the flu. Next morning you wake up, still feel a little flu-like, but I couldn't sit around the house. I just go to work. It continued to grow, so they did another surgery, and then had the treatments again, and that happened 6 times. 6 treatment, 6-week treatment, surgery, 6-week treatment, surgery, 6-week treatment. Just kept having those because it wasn't doing it. And finally, the 7th time we looked, the doctor said, "We're done. It's spread. We're going to take out organs." And so he decided that we would have a major surgery and take out as much as possible out of the urinary tract system. And it's amazing what they can do. They can rebuild everything and make it functional. And so I had that surgery in October of 2010, not quite 8 years ago. And since then, I have been cancer-free. And I think it's made me a better person in a weird way. It's made me a stronger person. I learned that life is difficult. If I didn't already know that, I learned it more fully. Having cancer helped you understand that life can be difficult, but when it is difficult, you learn to appreciate the times when it's not.